silent prayer.
請大家低頭祈禱。
Amen.
Amen.
In the name of the Lord Jesus, we continue with our service by singing hymn 157.
奉主聖名繼續嚟去聚會，我哋同唱讚美詩157首。
Before we begin, let's kneel down and pray.
我哋可以之前我哋一同嚟禱告。
Pray. In the name of Lord Jesus Christ, I speak.
奉主聖名講話，
We're going to look at Jonah chapter 1.
我哋睇呢個約拿書嘅第一章。
We mentioned about his, his words show that he was not exactly truthful, to himself and to God.
我哋剛才提到佢所講嘅説話對佢同埋對神都係唔忠實嘅。
We read verse 9 again, chapter 1, verse 9.
我哋繼續嚟睇呢個第9節嘅第一章嘅第9節。
So he said to them, I am a Hebrew, and I fear the Lord, the God of heavens, who made the sea and the dry land.
第9節，他說：我是希伯來人，我敬畏耶和華，那創造滄海旱地之天上的神。
I think verse 9 also tells us a lot about human nature.
呢個第9節亦都話俾我哋知好多關於人性嘅事情。
We know that he didn't fear God, that's why he ran away.
我哋知道佢冇敬畏神，所以佢離去逃走。
But in the public, in the presence of the mariners or the strangers, he tried to portray himself to be a God-fearing person.
但係喺眾人面前，喺呢啲水手嘅面前，佢就好似嚟去裝飾到自己好似一個係敬虔嘅人一樣。
He knew full well, that he did not obey God.
佢係完全知道佢係冇嚟去遵從神嘅話嘅。
Here we find that he has this tendency of hiding, his secret.
喺呢度我哋睇到佢係有呢種嘅嚟去隱藏佢自己呢啲嘅行為喺度嘅。
Now, just like us today as well.
就好似我哋今天一樣。
I think sometimes, when our wrongs are exposed, pointed out,
有時候當我哋呢啲做錯嘅事情或者呢啲隱藏嘅事情被
we
顯露之後，
always use words, to cover it.
我哋就用啲話語嚟去將佢嚟去遮掩。
And to make people feel that after all, we are not that bad at all.
你俾人哋嚟睇，覺得我哋係冇咁差嘅。
And this is not being truthful to God.
咁呢個嚟講對神，我哋對同神嚟講係冇咁嚟去誠懇啦。
So from here we find that the greatest challenge that Jonah was facing at the time is not the people, is himself.
所以喺呢度我哋睇到約拿當時最大嘅呢個挑戰唔係對呢啲人，係對佢自己嘅。
If he could not face himself, then how could he face God?
如果佢自己都唔能夠面對自己，佢點能夠嚟去面對神呢？
Now, because the mariner did not know much about his background.
因為呢啲水手們佢哋都唔知道佢嘅背景係點樣嘅。
Obviously, whatever he said, they would just listen.
佢所講嘅無論佢所講嘅一切，佢哋只係聽而已嘅。
But he was hiding something, from these people.
但係佢哋係從佢哋面前嚟去隱蔽一啲嘢嘅。
He was the main cause of the problem, for the tempest has to be stirred up, on the sea.
呢個狂風又係因為佢嘅緣故而係作起嘅。
So it's something that we can think about, in our life.
所以呢個係我喺我哋嘅生活之中，我哋需要嚟係想到嘅一啲嘅事情。
Yet he was hiding, from the people of what he has done against God.
佢係對神所做嘅事情，佢想喺人面前嚟去遮掩起嚟。
The wrongs that he has committed, he tried to hide.
佢所做錯嘅事，佢想亦都要去將佢哋去遮掩。
But God is an almighty God. He exposed it bit by bit.
但係神係一個全能嘅神，佢係逐步咁將佢顯明出嚟㗎。
And now we read verse 10.
咁我哋睇第10節啦。
Then the men were exceedingly afraid and said to him, Why have you done this? For the men knew that he fled from the presence of the Lord because he had told them.
第10節，他們就大大懼怕，對他說：你做的是什麼事呢？他們已經知道他躲避耶和華，因為他告訴了他們。
So in verse 10 is like he was forced into a position that he had to admit eventually.
所以第10節嗰度就係話喺呢度佢已經被逼到佢最終都要講出呢個事情出嚟。
Because he knew he could not hide it anymore.
因為佢知道佢唔可以再嚟去將佢哋去隱藏起嚟啦。
Obviously, the mariners and the people on board were exceedingly afraid.
所以當時呢啲水手們同埋船上嘅人佢哋都大大懼怕啦。
And so they said to him, Why have you done this?
所以對佢講話，點解你做咗呢啲咁嘅事呢？
Now, in verse 11,
咁11節嗰度。
Then they said to him, What shall we do to you that the sea may become for us? For the sea was growing more tempestuous.
他們問他說：我們當向你怎樣行使海浪平靜呢？這話是因海浪越發翻騰。
You find that even the mariners, they are like people with conscience.
我哋睇到呢啲水手們，佢哋都有呢種嘅良心㗎。
They did not say, "Oh, because of you, therefore just let us throw you into the sea."
佢哋唔會話因為係你所引起嘅事情，我哋就將你拋落海。
So instead, they ask him, well, "What should we do to you then?"
咁反而佢哋問約拿，佢話我應該向你點樣行呢？
Now, verse 12, yeah.
跟住12節嗰度
And he said to them, Pick me up and throw me into the sea, then the sea will become calm for you. For I know that this great tempest is because of me.
12節話，他對他們說：你們將我抬起來，拋在海中，海就平靜了。
Now, here you find that it's like this is a very honest confession of his own wrong.
呢度我哋睇到佢係對佢自己所做錯嘅事一個好坦白嘅去承認嘅。
It also goes to show that God has His way to, like, eventually force us to admit our wrongs.
亦都話俾我哋知神係有佢嘅方法嚟讓最後我哋嘅錯能夠被顯明出嚟嘅。
We can hide our wrongs from man and try to, even shift the blames onto others.
我哋可以嚟去遮掩自己嘅錯，或者係甚至嚟去話係別人嘅錯嘅。
But God has His way to reveal the truth.
但係神係有佢嘅方法嚟去將呢個真相顯明出嚟嘅。
So we understand that before God, no one can hide anything from Him.
所以喺神嘅面前係冇人能夠嚟去喺面前遮掩任何嘅嘢嘅。
Even in the book of Psalms, to hide our sin will not be prosperous for us.
甚至喺詩篇嗰度話遮掩罪過係永不亨通㗎。
So we need to confess and admit our wrongs before God.
所以我哋應該喺神面前嚟去認錯，嚟去承認我哋嘅罪過。
Today you find that not many people are willing to do that.
今日我哋好難揾到好多人能夠咁樣做嘅。
That's why you find that their ways are never prosperous in the eyes of God.
咁我哋發覺到呢啲人喺神嘅面前，佢哋嘅道路係唔能夠亨通嘅。
Many a time you find that God even try to cause them to be in trouble.
甚至神使佢哋嘅道路嚟去有呢個困難嘅。
Now, when you look at verse 12,
當我睇4節嘅時候
after this honest confessions,
當呢個約拿佢坦白承認咗佢
now
錯
put
之後，
yourself in the shoes of the mariners.
我哋嚟去將自己擺喺呢個水手嘅呢個位置上。
What would you do immediately?
你會即刻做啲咩嘅舉動呢？
Surely you would have thrown this Jonah into the sea.
肯定你會將呢個約拿去拋去海。
But when you look at verse 13,
但係當我哋睇13節嘅時候，
this is not what the mariners had done.
但係呢個就唔係呢啲水手所做嘅。
Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to return to land, but they could not, for the sea continued to grow more tempestuous against them.
13節話：然而那些人竭力趟槳要把船攏岸，卻是不能，因為海浪越發向他們翻騰。
I'm wondering why is it that this part of the scriptures is included? Why is it that the mindset and the behavior of the mariners is included here?
我哋想點解呢一段經文即係話提到呢啲水手們佢哋呢啲嘅心思意念喺呢度嚟去被記錄起嚟咧？
Now you need to think about this. If you were on board,
你要想想，如果你係喺呢個船上嘅時
and
候，
you know that this guy is the cause,
咁你知道呢個人係因為呢個人嘅原因，
that's why the tempest has come.
咁樣呢個狂風而
Obviously, you will be angry.
咁樣你會嚟去發怒嘅。
You will probably even hate this person.
你甚至可能會打呢個人嘅。
Hate.
你恨呢個人嘅。
Why have you done this?
點解你要咁做咧？
All of us are going to perish.
我哋大家都將要滅亡啦。
But you find that the mariner did not throw him immediately into the sea.
我哋發覺到呢啲水手們佢冇立刻將佢哋去拋落海嘅。
What does that tell us about?
咁呢個話俾我哋知咩咧？
They have love.
因為佢哋有愛嘅。
They wanted to try their best to see if they could save this guy as well.
佢用佢哋嘅辦法嚟去盼望都能夠拯救呢個人嘅。
Now, so in contrast,
所以對比嚟講，
you find that Jonah has no love yet for his enemies.
呢個約拿對佢嘅敵人嚟講係冇呢種愛嘅。
Yes, the enemies have been very cruel towards him. And towards his own people.
呢啲敵人佢對佢哋嘅同胞係好唔好嘅。
But in this case here, Jonah was like the main cause, and also the enemies to all these people.
喺呢度約拿係因為佢係呢件事情嘅呢個嘅發生佢都係呢班人嘅敵人嚟嘅。
So because he has caused so much harm to the mariners.
因為佢帶俾呢啲水手們好多嘅呢種嘅傷害。
Because in verse 4 it says, when the tempest first started, it was so great that even the ship was about to be broken up.
因為喺第4節嗰度提到話呢個風考大作，甚至呢個船都幾乎要破壞啦。
And you see that in verse 13, the tempest was greater than before.
咁你睇13節嗰度呢個狂風比先前更大㗎。
And yet, they didn't want to throw him into the sea.
反而佢哋冇嚟去將佢嚟拋喺個海中㗎。
In a way, it's like God was trying to use these people to teach Jonah.
喺某方面就係神想要藉著呢啲人嚟去教導呢個嘅約拿㗎。
Look, when I asked you to go and preach and to these people, hoping that they would repent, but you were not willing.
你睇下我嚟去差派你去呢啲人嗰度去傳呢個信息，盼望佢哋嚟去悔改，反而你唔聽從。
And now you have caused so much harm that even these people were at the point of losing their life.
而家你因為你嘅緣故，你嚟使到呢啲事情發生，甚至佢哋都嚟去失去性命啦。
It's at the point, it's at the verge of losing the 差唔多。
就差唔多失去性命啦。
And yet they love you.
但係佢哋仍然係愛你㗎。
They didn't want to throw you, into the sea immediately.
佢哋甚至唔想嚟去即刻將你拋喺呢個海中㗎。
So if we are honest with ourselves.
所以我哋對自己係坦白㗎。
Sometimes when we look around,
我哋去周圍望下。
we find that we do not have love.
我哋發覺自己係冇呢種愛㗎。
We love less because sometimes we have caused so much harm to people, and yet we still think that we are right.
有時候我哋嚟去帶俾人好多嘅呢個嘅苦楚嘅時候，我哋發覺反而話自己係有呢個愛嘅。
Sometimes we have caused so much trouble to the church, and we still think that we are right.
有時候我哋帶俾教會好多嘅麻煩，反而以為自己係對嘅。
That's why we said Jonah actually existed in contradiction.
所以約拿係喺呢個嘅衝突當中嚟去存活嘅。
He knew God, he knew the law of God.
佢知道佢認識神，佢亦都認識神嘅呢個嘅誡命啊。
But we can say he wasn't able to fulfill the law of God, that is love.
但係佢冇嚟去完成神嘅呢個嘅誡命，就係呢個愛。
Now verse 14.
14節。
Now if you look at verse 14, yeah.
如果去睇14節。
They even prayed to the God of Israel.
佢哋甚至嚟向以色列嘅神嚟去禱告。
I mean the God of Jonah.
就係約拿嘅所相信嘅神。
Therefore they cried out to the Lord and said, "We pray, O Lord, please do not let us perish for this man's life. And do not charge us with innocent blood, for you, O Lord, have done as it pleased you."
14節，他們便求告耶和華說：耶和華啊，我們懇求你，不要因這人的性命使我們死亡，不要使流無辜血的罪歸於我們，因為你耶和華是隨自己的旨意行事。
You know that Jonah did not purposefully preach, like the Lord there to these people.
約拿係冇刻意咁嚟去向呢啲人嚟去傳達神嘅。
But through this incident, people came to know about the Lord.
但係藉著呢個事情呢啲人嚟去認識到呢個神㗎。
They even cried out to God.
甚至佢哋嚟去向呢個神嚟去懇求㗎。
And asked the Lord not to charge, them with innocent blood.
唔好嚟去使呢個流無辜血嘅罪歸去佢哋嘅身上嘅。
So finally,
到最後嘅。
So what happened? They picked up Jonah and threw him into the sea.
佢哋就將約拿抬起嚟，就拋去落海中啦。
It's like they pray to God, please, we have no choice, we have to throw this guy into the sea.
就好似話神啊，我哋冇其他方法啦，我只有能夠將呢個人拋落海啦。
Because that's the only way to calm the sea down.
因為呢個係唯一方法，讓呢個海浪嚟去平靜嘅。
So they pick him up and threw him into the sea, and the sea ceased from its raging.
所以佢哋就將佢抬起，就拋喺海中，海嘅狂浪就平靜啦。
Now, when you compare the attitudes of Jonah and the hearts of these people.
所以當我哋去將 約拿嘅呢個嘅心態同埋呢啲水手嘅心態嚟去對比嘅時候，
In terms of attitude, he was far worse than the mariners.
喺呢個態度上，佢約拿係比呢啲水手更壞㗎。
In terms of loving man, he was far worse.
喺呢個愛人上，佢都係比呢啲水手更差㗎。
So sometimes we have to ask ourselves,
所以有時候我哋問下我哋自己，
how much do we love people?
我哋有幾愛其他人嘅咧？
What kind of attitude do we have?
我哋有啲咩嘅心態嘅咧？
Sometimes you find that we are, yes, we believe in Jesus, but it's just that the love of Jesus is not in us.
我哋知道我哋係嚟去相信主耶穌，但係單有主耶穌嘅愛係唔夠嘅。
We don't have that.
我哋冇我哋冇
耶穌基督。
我哋冇耶穌基督嘅愛嘅。
Because in the things that we do, in the things that we said, and show that we don't really have the love of Jesus.
喺我哋所講嘅説話、所做嘅事情上，我哋係冇顯出我哋擁有主耶穌呢種愛嘅。
So I think the book is trying to remind us.
所以呢本書係其實喺度提醒我哋。
How much love do we have for others, especially the perishing souls?
我哋對其他人，特別係嗰啲將要滅亡呢個生命靈命滅亡嘅人，我哋對佢有幾多愛嘅咧
？So do we have this love of Jesus to save them?
我哋有冇主耶穌呢種嘅愛嚟去想佢哋得救咧
？So after he has been thrown into the sea,
所以當佢被拋喺海中嘅時候
，the sea ceased from its raging.
咁呢個海嘅狂浪就平靜啦。
Now verse 16 it says,
16節咁樣講。
Then the man feared the Lord exceedingly and offered a sacrifice to the Lord and took vows.
16節但那些人便大大敬畏神，向神獻祭，並且許願。
You find that these people start fearing God and worshiping the true God.
咁我哋發覺到呢班人佢哋開始嚟去敬畏神，嚟去敬拜神啦。
It's like a way of telling us, don't think that without you the gospel will not be preached.
所以唔好覺得冇咗你呢個嘅福音就唔能夠傳開去。
Today, if we don't preach the gospel,
今日有我哋唔傳福音，
God has His way to allow His gospel to be heard by many.
神係會使到佢嘅福音嚟去讓好多人嚟聽到嘅。
Sometimes we are very lethargic, very like no energy, no enthusiasm, to reach out to people.
有時候我哋覺得我哋自己係冇呢種嘅精力，冇呢種嘅氣力嚟去向人去傳呢個福音嘅。
But God can, even raise up different people. He could adopt different means to reach out to the lost souls.
但係神係可以嚟去選召好多其他嘅人，或者用唔同嘅方法嚟去讓呢個信息傳達出去嘅。
And now I want you to read verse 17.
咁我哋睇17節。
And now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. 3 days and 3 nights.
17節，耶和華神安排一條大魚吞了約拿，他在魚腹中3日3夜。
Now, so it's like Jonah has to be taught a lesson.
喺呢度就約拿被嚟去教訓啦。
It also obviously Jesus, in the gospel has drawn a parallel, of his death, to this.
咁主耶穌喺呢個世上嘅時候，佢都提到佢嘅呢個死亡係同呢個約拿嘅事情係一樣嘅。
Because he has to be buried there for 3 days and 3 nights.
因為佢要被埋葬三夜嘅。
Now I want you to look at chapter 2.
咁我哋睇下第2章嘅。
Now chapter 2 basically is about the prayer that Jonah offered to God when he was in the belly of the fish.
咁第2章就記載約拿喺呢個魚腹中嘅向神嘅禱告嘅呢個嘅事情。
Now we read verse 1.
咁我睇第1節。
Chapter 2 verse 1.
第2章嘅第1節嘅。
Then Jonah prayed to the Lord, his God, from the fish belly.
約拿在魚腹中禱告主他的神。
Now here you find that In verse 1 it says, the Lord his God.
第二章一節嗰度睇到話主他的神噶。
Sometimes I'm wondering why is it that in chapter 2, in his prayer he said, the Lord his God.
我哋有時或者去想點解喺呢度記載主佢嘅神呢？
Was God not his God before he was thrown into the sea?
咁神喺佢未被拋開海中嘅時候，唔係佢嘅神嗎？
He was still his God then. Is that not true?
喺嗰個時候，神都仍然係佢嘅神噶。
Again, I think here it tells us about something about human nature.
喺呢度亦都話俾我聽一啲事情關於呢個人性嘅。
When God wants us to fulfill or to carry out a task for Him.
當神想我哋嚟去為佢完成或者做一啲嘅事情嘅時候
，especially when we are not too happy about it，
特別係當我哋對呢件事情唔滿意嘅時候
，we will put God aside。
我哋就將神去擺喺
Yes, we said He is our God, but we don't really treat Him as being our God。
雖然佢係我哋嘅神，但係我哋冇嚟去對待佢係看待佢係我哋自己嘅神。
And the way we conduct ourselves, the way we live our life, tell us that God is not exactly our God。
我哋所做嘅事情嘅所講嘅嘢都冇顯出神係我哋嘅神㗎。
But when we run into deep problems，
但係當我哋遇着呢啲大問題嘅時候
，then we will say, God, truly, you are my God。
我哋就同神講話：神啊，你係真係我嘅神啊。
Is that not true？
你話呢個係咪真呢
？Is that not another contradiction that we can see？
你話呢個係咪另外一個嘅呢個嘅衝突？我哋可以睇到咧。
We always see this in our life。
我哋好常喺我哋嘅生活當中都
When we enjoy life and life is good, things are going well with us, we don't tend to think too much about God. Just put Him aside.
當我哋喺度享受生活我哋個生活一切都順利嘅時候，我哋就將神嚟擺一邊啦。我哋唔覺得係我哋嘅神。
Here it says Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the fish belly because he was in suffering, in trouble, and his life was so uncertain.
喺呢度提到話約拿喺魚腹中嚟去向神禱告啊，因為呢個時候佢已經對佢嘅生命已經冇把握啦，佢都唔知將會發生咩事。
I would assume he did not even know whether he could come out from the fish belly.
甚至佢亦都唔知道自己能夠從呢個魚腹中再次出嚟啦。
Probably at that time, he was thinking that I'm doomed, I finished.
可能喺嗰度佢覺得自己係完蛋啦。
So in man's in desperation will always consider God to be his God.
所以喺人喺呢個迫切緊急關頭嘅時候，佢就會覺得神係佢嘅神㗎啦。
So because obviously he wanted God to help.
因為佢需要神嘅幫助。
Just like us, we sometimes in troubles, we really want God to help.
就好似當我哋遇着困難嘅時候，我哋實在係需要神嘅幫助。
Then we say, God, please, my God, my Father.
跟住我哋就同神講：神啊，我嘅父啊，我嘅神啊。
But when we are okay, we don't care too much.
但係當我哋一切都順利嘅時候，我哋就唔將佢擺喺心裏啦。
Okay, now we look at verse 2.
咁我睇第二節。
Now I cried out to the Lord because of my affliction. So the reason for this prayer is very clear. It's because of his affliction.
咁佢話：我遭遇患難，求告神呢度佢嘅因為佢嘅禱告嘅原因就係因為佢嘅患難。
Obviously, this chapter is written after he has come out, and then he wrote it down.
當然呢一章係佢出咗魚肚之後而寫嘅。
And that's why he said, and he answered me.
跟住所以佢話佢嚟去應允我啦。
So obviously he was very thankful to God, for that.
所以佢係好感謝神噶。
And now out of the belly of Sheol I cried, and you heard my voice.
佢話我陰間嘅深處呼求，你就俯聽我嘅聲音。
Now looking at this verse, the second part of this verse is quite, obvious that at that point in time he thought that he was in Sheol, it's like in Hades, in the pit.
喺呢度我睇到，佢就好覺得自己係已經喺呢個嘅陰間嗰度啦。
It's like I could not escape. That is the end of my life.
佢覺得自己唔能夠逃走啦，呢個係佢嘅生命嘅盡頭啦。
So out of the belly of Sheol I cried.
所以從呢個陰間嘅深處呼求。
And you heard my voice.
你就俯聽我嘅聲音。
Now you find that it's like he came back to his senses.
就好似佢你醒悟過嚟啦。
And therefore he cried to God.
而佢哋向神去呼求啦。
We said at least he has come back. He has come back to his senses.
最起碼佢係嚟去醒悟過嚟啦。
Sometime in the Bible, some people did not know how to cry out to the Lord, even though they were very far away from God.
我哋發覺到喺聖經裏邊有啲人佢哋甚至離神好遠嘅，佢都唔曉得嚟去向神呼求。
Sometimes it also happens to us. This also happens to us.
呢個有時候都會發生我哋自己身上嘅。
Our life is so far away from God.
我哋嘅生活同與神係好相隔好遠嘅。
We don't really worship God anymore.
我哋再唔嚟去敬拜神啦。
It's like we are in a very dangerous position.
意思就好似我哋喺一個好危險嘅呢個嘅位置啦。
We could even lose our soul.
甚至我哋去失去我哋嘅靈命啦。
But we don't know how to cry out to God.
但係我哋喺呢個時候都仍然唔曉得嚟去呼求神嘅。
Now here it says, "You heard my voice."
呢度話佢呼聽我嘅聲音。
What does it tell us about?
究竟呢度嘅話俾我哋知咩呢？
God is a God who listens.
就係話神係一個聽禱告嘅神。
Not only He listens,
唔單止佢聽。
He is also a God of mercy.
佢亦都係一個滿有憐憫嘅神嚟。
God could have just ignored his prayer.
神可以嚟去唔聽佢嘅呢個嘅禱告嘅。
Because of his obedience, God could have just ignored him altogether.
因為佢唔送命，所以神係完全可以嚟去唔聽佢嘅禱告嘅。
Here we can see the tolerance of God. God is, the Bible says, He is long-suffering God.
喺呢度我哋可以睇到神呢種嘅容忍嘅呢個聖經話到神係一個長久忍耐嘅神嚟㗎。
That's why we need to do the same to others as well.
所以我哋應該向別人都係應該有咁嘅心態㗎。
But here we find that God has to corner him, have to put him in a position for him to realize that he needed God.
但係喺呢度我哋發覺到係需要神將佢擺到喺一角落啦，佢先至醒過嚟。
Sometimes we are very hard-hearted.
有時候我哋係好眼生㗎。
God has to put us in a position, to make us come to our senses.
神係要將我哋擺喺一個位置先至讓我哋曉得嚟去醒悟過嚟。
And so that we can come to realize that all the things that we have done before, is not correct, is wrong, is against God.
讓我哋明白到喺過去我哋所做嘅一切事情係錯㗎，係嚟去敵對神㗎。
Now I want you to read verse 3.
咁我睇第3節啦。
For you cast me into the deep, into the hearts of the sea, and the floods surrounded me. All your billows and your waves have passed over me.
第3節，你將我投下深淵，就是海的深處。大水環繞我，你的波浪兇徒都漫過我身。
Now, obviously this is the experience. He said he has gone down to the bottom of the sea, into the deep of the sea.
喺呢度就係佢嘅自己嘅親身嘅體驗啦。佢話我被投入去呢個深淵嗰度去。
Now, if you look at the, how can I say it, the faith of Jonah.
如果我哋睇下呢個約拿嘅信心
，his faith was like on the decrease. It was declining.
我哋發覺佢嘅信心係一直退步嘅。
Now from being a prophet of God.
從一個作為先知嘅身份，
he ran away from God.
佢哋逃避神。
And the Bible says he gone down into the lowest part of the ship to sleep, ignore God. Yeah.
佢到呢個船嘅最底呢個船艙嗰度。
If we were to draw a diagram, it's like he has gone down already when he disobeyed God. Yeah.
所以我哋有個嚟去畫一個呢個圖嘅時候，我哋發覺到佢個信心係一直咁樣到最低嘅。
And then he went down to the deep.
跟住佢就
to the heart of the seas.
佢到去到海嘅最底處啦。
So you can see the how can I say the danger of not obeying God.
所以我哋可以睇到呢個唔信從神呢種嘅帶嚟嘅危險嘅。
That's why he said it's like he was crying out of the belly of Sheol, like right in the pit, in the middle of the pit.
所以佢話佢自己喺陰間嘅深淵嗰度嚟去呼求。
Can you see how far he was from God?
所以我哋可以睇到佢係離神嘅距離係幾遠。
You know, he was in the deep, in the heart of the sea, or in the belly of Sheol.
佢係喺呢個嘅海嘅深處亦都係喺呢個陰間嘅深淵。
That's why if a person does not turn back to God, you know, immediately.
所以如果一個人佢冇立刻嚟去歸回神嘅時候
，continue to disobey God，
嚟繼續嚟去唔聽從神嘅時候
，continue to be hard-hearted，
繼續嚟去硬身嘅時候
，trying to find reasons just to cover up you know his wrongs，
嚟去揾出一啲嘅藉口嚟去遮掩佢自己嘅錯。
Then we said that the destiny is what? Is to go down to the shore。
咁佢哋嘅結果就係去到呢個嘅深淵啦。
Just like Jonah，
就好似呢個嘅約拿一樣啦。
We cannot disobey God，
所以我哋唔可以嚟去逃避神㗎。
We must learn to obey, even though we cannot accept it in the beginning, but we must pray that we can accept。
我哋必須嚟去信服神。雖然我哋起初唔能夠信服，但係我哋應該禱告嚟去求神俾我哋有呢種信服嘅心。
Now verse 4。
第4節。
Then I said, I have been cast out of your sight. Yet I will look again towards your holy temple。
第4節話：我說我從你眼前雖被驅逐，我仍要仰望你的聖殿。
I think verse 4, the first part is so important。
我第4節嘅上半段係好重要嘅。
The circumstances that he was in is like force him to come to the realization that God no longer wanted to look at him again。佢
當時嘅處境就係話佢覺得神已經再唔嚟去用眼睛嚟去望佢啦。
That's why it's like in the ancient time, if God did not look at a person，
所以喺古時嘅時候，有個神係唔用眼嚟看一個人嘅時候，
or if the countenance of God no longer shine on a person，
或者係神嘅呢種嘅光照唔再光照佢嘅時候
，you find that the person would lose the grace and the peace of God。
你發覺呢個人就會失去神呢種恩典同埋呢種嘅平安啦。
Return to where is it? Okay, we read Psalms chapter 80。
我哋讀詩篇嘅80篇。
We turn to the book of Psalms chapter 80。
詩篇嘅80篇嘅。
We read verse 7。Verse 3. Okay, verse 3。
我睇第3節。
Verse 3。
第3節。
Restore us, O God, cause your face to shine, and we shall be saved。
第3節，神啊，求你使我們回轉，使你的臉發光，我們便要得救。
Verse 7 is repeated, the same thing。
第7節係重複嘅。
Now, restore us, O God of hosts, cause your face to shine, and we shall be saved。
第7節，萬軍之神啊，求你使我們回轉，使你的面發光，我們便要得救。
Verse 19 also saying the same thing。
19節都係一樣嘅。
I also want you to read the Numbers。
我亦都睇呢個民數記嘅。
We read the Numbers chapter 6。
民數記嘅第6章。
Now we read verse 25 and verse 26。
我哋讀25、26節嘅。
Numbers chapter 6 verse 25 and verse 26。
民數記嘅 第6章嘅25、26節。
The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.
25節，願耶和華使他的面光照你，賜恩給你。願耶和華向你仰面，賜你平安。
So in the Old Testament, you find that when God turned his face away from his people,
所以我哋發覺到喺古時嘅時候，當神嘅面離去唔向佢選民嘅時候，
when he no longer wanted to even look at them,
當佢唔再嚟去仰望佢哋嘅時候，
it means that his grace and peace will be taken away.
意思話佢嘅平安同埋佢嘅恩典已經離開佢哋啦。
And so Jonah knew about this.
所以約拿佢係清楚呢一
He
點嘅。
said he has been cast out of his sight,
所以佢話佢係從佢嘅眼中嚟去被驅逐嘅，
meaning that he has lost the grace and peace from God.
意思就係話佢嚟去喺失去神呢種嘅平安同埋呢種嘅恩典啦。
So you find that this is the result of being rebellious.
所以呢個就係呢個佢抗拒神嘅呢個嘅一個嘅結果嚟啦。
So we cannot afford to go against God's will.
所以我哋唔可以嚟去抗拒神嘅話語嘅。
So we must learn to submit.
我哋必須要學習嚟去謙卑，順服。
So that God's countenance, His light shall always shine upon us.
讓神嘅呢個嘅面光嚟照着我哋。
So in this way, we will be blessed by Him.
咁樣我哋就能夠嚟去得神嘅祝福啦。
So Jonah is like he has learned a very hard lessons,
所以
tough lessons.
所以呢個約拿喺呢度嚟去學到一個好嘅教訓啦。
Now when he knew that God did not want to look at him anymore.
所以當佢知道神唔再嚟去望佢嘅時候，
So at that point he said, "Yet I will look again towards your holy temple."
所以佢話我仍要仰望你嘅聖殿。
In the ancient time, holy temple is the place where God was.
喺古時嘅時候，聖殿就係神所在嘅地方。
Indicating that he wanted to seek for God.
意思話佢想嚟去尋求神。
Wanted God to help him.
求神嚟去幫助佢。
So he truly has been waken up from his sleep of disobedience.
所以佢係從佢呢種嘅不順從嘅呢種嘅沉睡之中嚟去甦醒過嚟啦。
So oh God help me.
神啊，求你幫助我。
Okay, now verse 5.
第5節。
The waters surrounded me, even to my soul. The deep closed around me. Weeds were wrapped around my head.
珠水環繞我，幾乎淹沒我；深淵圍住我，海草圍繞我的頭。
How can I say? There are two levels of meanings here.
喺呢度有兩個層次嘅意
We know
思
that
嘅。
physically he was in the belly of the fish.
肉身上佢係喺呢個魚嘅腹中㗎。
The fact that he was not drowned is a miracle in itself.
咁喺呢個魚腹中，佢冇嚟去被淹死，呢個已經係一個奇蹟嚟啦。
And the other thing is he was not, like digested by the fish is another miracle, big miracle.
另外一樣就話佢冇俾呢個魚嚟去消化咗，呢個亦都係一個奇蹟啦。
So obviously in the stomach, it's like complete darkness, pitch darkness. You can't see anything.
喺呢個魚腹中係完全黑暗嘅，佢係唔能夠睇到任何嘅嘢㗎。
You would imagine, it's a lot of liquid in the belly, water, whatever,
咁喺呢個魚腹中可能有好多
I don't know how he breathe. I don't know.
呢個液體㗎，我都有好多水㗎，充滿呢個水㗎，我唔知佢點樣去呼吸。
That is one level of meaning.
呢個就係一個層次嘅
Now the second level
嘅意識。第二個嘅層次。
When you look at verse 5,
當你睇第5節，
he said, "The waters surrounded me, even to my soul."
佢話呢個珠水環繞我，甚至到我嘅呢個嘅靈魂。
So it's like the soul is at the point of being drowned.
就係話呢個靈魂到呢個要浸死嘅地步啦。
not only not only his physical life was a danger,
唔
was in danger.
唔單止佢嘅自己呢個肉身嘅生命有危險，
Equally true is that his spiritual life was also in great danger.
同樣嘅呢個事實嘅佢嘅呢個靈命都係到呢個嘅危險啦。
Again, from his prayer, that he was like trying to tell us, the results of being disobedient. He was at the point of being what? Swallowed up by death, both physically and spiritually.
所以喺呢度嘅佢就好似你話俾我哋知呢個佢抗拒神嘅呢種嘅結果就係唔單止我哋嘅肉身，甚至我哋嘅靈命都遭呢個滅亡嘅。
This prayer is not just about saving his life, physical life.
呢個禱告唔係話單單係為佢嘅呢個肉身嚟去
That's why we said there are double meanings to this prayer. The physical deliverance and also the deliverance of the soul.
所以我哋話呢個禱告係有兩個嘅層次，兩個意思嘅，一個係為咗佢嘅肉身嘅呢個拯救，另外一個係為佢靈魂嘅拯救嘅。
So we must learn not to disobey God.
所以我哋必須學習唔好嚟去不信服神嘅。
God has been given us grace and peace in our life.
所以神喺我哋嘅生命當中嚟去賜俾我哋呢個恩典同埋平安。
Sometimes we are just too proud there to accept the will of God.
有時候我哋對神嘅我哋太過高傲嚟去接受神呢種嘅旨意啦。
We cannot accept because of the pride in our heart.
因為我哋嘅驕傲，我哋唔願意嚟去接受神嘅旨意。
So from verse 1 to verse 5.
所以從第1至第5節。
Yes, his prayer, we said was a very good one.
我哋話佢嘅禱告係一個好好嘅禱告嚟嘅。
For us to realize, that we all have to submit to God.
讓我哋每個人都醒過嚟，曉得嚟去信服神嘅。
So I think tomorrow we'll continue.
咁我哋明天會繼續嘅。
We still got 2 more lessons. We should be able to finish the full job.
我哋明天仲有兩節嘅聚會，應該可以將佢講完嘅。
We pray.
我哋一起嚟禱告。